I'm going to teach you 10 things that you should never, ever say when you speak English. If you are learning English as a second language, there's a pretty good chance you've made at least one of the mistakes I'm going to talk about in today's video. They're super common, and most of them have to do with grammar. The problem with grammar, or the reason why grammar can be difficult, is because even a small mistake sounds wrong to native speakers. And you'll see as we go through the list today that most of these mistakes are very, very small. So they're hard to catch, they're hard to correct, and that's why I want to make sure you never make them again. Now, before we start, my name is Michael Anton. I'm the founder of English at the Ready. It's my goal to make you fluent in English. So, 10 mistakes that you should never make in English, 10 things that you should never say. Make sure to watch until the end of today's video because number 10 is actually the most important. Now, number 1, I am agree. I am agree. I hear this all the time. The correct way of saying this is I agree. Subject, verb, I agree. Not I am agree, but I agree. I completely agree. I entirely agree. Not I am agree, but I agree. You could say I am in agreement. I am in agreement. That's a lot more formal, maybe more common in a business environment, but never I am agree or I'm agree. Always I agree. Now, number 2, I did a mistake. I did a mistake. What's wrong with the sentence? We don't do mistakes, we make mistakes. I made a mistake. Not I did a mistake, I made a mistake. Be very careful. Number 3, he is married with his wife. We're not married with somebody, we're married to somebody. He is married to his wife. Not married with, but married to. You get married to somebody. Number 4, and if you speak French, and I think some other languages as well, but if you speak French, I know especially this can be difficult for French speakers. We never say, I have 28 years or I have 40 years. We don't use the verb to have, we use the verb to be. I am 20, 30, 40 years old. I am 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old. We never use have. We don't say I have 25 years. We say I am 25, 30, 40 years old. Mistake number 5. Can you borrow me $20? Can you borrow me? This is tricky because borrow could be used in the same conversation, but it's used slightly differently. When you borrow money, you take money from somebody. In this case, when you ask somebody for money, you ask to lend money. Not borrow, but lend. Can you lend me $20? Remember, when you borrow, you take. When you lend, you give. Borrow is take, lend is give. And there's always an expectation that you will return what you take, or the person will return what they took. So, can you lend me $20? Yes, I can lend you $20. You can borrow $20. Now, number 6, I'm waiting you. I'm waiting you. I'm waiting for you. Don't forget the preposition for. I'm waiting for you. We never wait something or somebody. We always wait for it. For example, I'm waiting for the train. I'm waiting for my friend. I'm waiting for the bus. Number 7, if you don't know what something is called, if you don't know the word for it, never say, how is it called? How is it called? That sounds wrong to native speakers. Instead, you need to say, what is it called? Or what's it called? Or what do you call this? What's it called? What do you call this? Not how is it called, but what's it called? What do you call this? Very common mistake. All right, let's talk about comparatives when you're comparing two things. Never say more better. Never say more easier. Never say more faster. When we have "er" at the end of a word, it already implies a comparative. So we wouldn't use more because that's redundant. We don't need the word more when we have "er." Just better, easier, faster. Not more better, not more easier. Better, easier, faster. Now, how do you know when to add "er" to the end of a word, an adjective, and when do you add more? Well, it's actually quite simple. The rule is if you have a short word, now a short word is normally 1 or 2 syllables, generally you add "er." For example, easy becomes easier, fast becomes faster, etc. When you have a longer word, for example, beautiful, that's 3 syllables, beautiful. Comfortable, 3 syllables, comfortable. Then we add more in front. For example, more beautiful, more wonderful, more fantastic, more comfortable. So if it's a shorter word, we tend to add "er" to the end. And if it's a longer word, we normally add more to the beginning. We never add more and "er" to the same word. Be very careful about that. All right, the next mistake on our list is one I hear all the time. I was actually with a friend of mine recently, and he spoke Spanish as his first language, and he told me he was boring. And I looked at him, I said, no, you're not boring. You're entertaining, you're funny. And then he said, oh, I mean, I'm bored. Boring and bored, what's the difference? Something that is boring causes you to feel bored. For example, the movie might be boring. If you're watching a movie, it's boring. You feel bored. You're not boring. The movie is boring. You feel bored. It's the same with interesting and interested. Fascinating and fascinated. You are interesting if you make other people feel interested. The movie was entertaining. I was entertained by the movie. So boring with the ing, tiring, entertaining, interesting. Whenever you have that ing form of the adjective, it indicates the cause. And the ed indicates the result. Something tiring makes you tired. Be careful about this. Don't say you are boring when you're actually bored. Now, last but not least, as I said earlier, this is the most important mistake on our list. This is something you should never ever say when you speak English. It's one word. It's the word sorry. Never say sorry for your English. Never apologize for your level of English. Never apologize for the fact that you speak English as a second language, that English is not your first language. Never say sorry for that fact. There's nothing to be sorry for. There's no reason to apologize just because you don't speak English as a first language. Look, people don't care about your mistakes. If you get something wrong, if you make a grammatical mistake, and of course, we looked at a lot of them in today's video, but at the end of the day, nobody cares if you make a mistake. People are too focused on themselves. So there's no reason to apologize for your level of English, even if you make mistakes or you don't make mistakes. There's nothing wrong with speaking English as a second language. It makes you sound less confident. It makes you sound less secure in yourself. And that's not something you want. That's not the impression you want to give people. So don't apologize. Own the fact that you speak English as a second language. There's nothing wrong with that. But most importantly, never say sorry for your level of English. Hope you found this video useful. Let me know in the comments, have you ever said any of these things? Have you ever made any of these mistakes? They're very common. You're not alone. Of course, subscribe to English at the Ready here on YouTube. Leave a like if you found this video useful. And if you want to study with me and my team, we have several programs available by application only. You can click the link in the description below to apply. It's our goal to make you fluent in English, to help you improve your speaking, your listening, your vocabulary, your reading, your writing, your business English, pronunciation, all that stuff. So if you are interested in a program which has helped thousands of students improve their English over the last 2 years, click the link to apply. And if we can help you, we'll be in touch. Hope you found this video useful.